What is up, guys? This is Glitchy with 10 do's and don'ts in fighting games coming up. Let's start with something you should really do. Tutorials. It could mean something different to each person what the tutorials are. Some might think they're training wheels and are only for babies, but in fighting games, they are an absolute must-do. They teach you everything you need to know about the game, its mechanics, the meaning of gauges on screen, basically teaching you the core of the game. These are absolutely required to gain knowledge about the fundamentals. Or you could watch YouTube videos such as mine to become knowledgeable as well. Who's to say? You can use these tutorials to engrave button pushes, timing, and combo structures into your muscles. They have memory, so don't give those muscles a break. Well, you should give them a break, but not now. Here's a thing that you don't need to do. You don't need to buy a fight stick because high-level players are dominating with them and you want to dominate as well. These guys are dominating with fight sticks because that is just a controller they are most comfortable with. There are pro players out there that play with gamepads just like Sonic Fox. He won EVO's Fighters tournament with his standard DualShock 4. Others fight with a Hori gamepad, which I got too, and is essentially a gamepad with extra buttons. But I use a fight stick myself because I wasn't comfortable with the movement on pad. So I tried a fight stick and I felt comfortable almost immediately, but it took time to master. But every controller takes time to master, so the moral of this bullet point is to pick a controller that fits your game style. One that is comfortable to you and not one because it's hype or commonly used. Practice, 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 and practice. Get some time in the lab. We call it the lab. Look at me saying we, as if I'm a high-ranking part of the fighting game community. We call it a lab because it's basically a laboratory for everyone to experiment with combo structures. The practice room will be a place you'll visit every day when logging in, either to warm up the fundamentals or to learn new characters. Each new fighting game either introduces new stuff to master or has a completely different button layout. Switching between games can then be daunting, but the lab is there to help out. Heck, even if you don't step in the practice round when you log in, live practice will do the trick. What is better than having a person as your sparring partner? Hop on to casual fights or ranked if you like to live dangerously and play against people. Everyone handles situations differently, so each encounter with someone else is different. Take this to your advantage and learn how people could react to your game plan. This works the other way around as well. You learn to react to other people's playstyles too, so keep on practicing. Please, for the love of God, don't spam buttons. And don't spam the same attack over and over again. You're degrading your skill to the lowest of levels. There are games that have auto combos, but that doesn't mean you should rely on them. Using them is one thing, but spamming them is another. Learn a bread and butter combo. The combo that you can set up very quickly and very easily. Because not every situation will set you up for that one touch of death combo. But most situations can benefit more of a natural bread and butter combo. So please, alternate inputs, perform some combos, not only for the opponent's good health, but for your skill optimization. In every fighting game, the neutral is extremely important, so do learn the great neutral play. Learn how far your normals reach, learn how your anti-air works, learn how your specials work, learn what moves can be cancelled into safe jumps, learn safe jumps. I said learn quite a lot, but neutral is just very important. You need to open up your opponents by using their neutral against themselves and look for openings. If you spot a badly timed special, cancel it into a move that you can catch the opponent and you can confirm it into a combo. You then have your setup for Oki or mix-ups. Believe me, neutral is very important. Arrogance and cocky attitudes can be a lovely thing, but assuming you're the best and thinking you will conquer every match simply because you feel good about yourself won't cut it. Don't assume you're the best. Become the best. Just like in anime, be the protagonist that's like beneath average in strength and capabilities. Set a goal, work hard, train yourself, lose fights, learn from mistakes to ultimately achieve your goal. Then set another goal and work your way up toward that one and again and again and again until you are satisfied. And then you set another goal. Fighting games are about constant improvement because these games are being maintained and balanced all the time. And so should you. Another thing you should do is pick a main fighter. Sure, having skill in multiple fighters is a must, but having that character that you can go back to when you're on a losing streak to pick things back up is so much better. It has to be that character that from the moment you picked him or her and tried the moveset, it hit home. It has to be the character where all your combos just magically work. For most people, it's the character they picked when they first started the game. They were like, yeah, this character looks sick, and they stuck with it and learned everything. For others, it was a constant experiment in the lab to find that perfect character. For you, it can be either. Maybe you have a story of your own main character pick. You can share it in the comments below. Ha! You thought this would be another don't, didn't ya? Well, you were bamboozled.
You've been bamboozled!
It is another do. As opposed to picking your main fighter, you should really practice many, if not all, of the characters on the board. Sure, there are games with an immense amount of characters, but in those games they all play somewhat the same. Like in Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm, everyone has a specific gimmick that you learn pretty quickly, but you don't have to practice it to understand it. But in games with a smaller roster, they tend to have a lot of variety in playstyle and speed. So if you understand every character's gimmicks and playstyles, you can learn how to counter them as well. You don't necessarily have to play every character, but you do have to do some research, perhaps on all the other characters. It might seem daunting, but this will truly help you along the way when you want to try and climb in rank. Every year there are multiple fighting game tournaments being held. The one that is highly known is EVO, which stands for the Evolution Championship. It's being held every year and features multiple games. What you should really do is watch people play your game in these tournaments. I know people making YouTube videos and combo structures can also deliver great footage, but these pros have such a high level of gameplay that you can learn new tech while watching. You can see them use particular movesets in different circumstances that you might never have thought of before. Watching these fights will surely up your own game since you will be trying it at home. It's like watching someone speedrun a JRPG. You'll notice pathways you hadn't thought of before, so do watch these tournaments. After losing, after being disrespected, after losing again and again, people can feel enraged. The thing you shouldn't do is rage quit. Not many games tend to punish you for rage quitting, since there's also the possibility of legitimately loose connection, so rage quitting won't get punished sometimes. Yes, fighters, I'm looking at you. By rage quitting, you are denying your opponent his rightful score that he should have won. I mean, you lost to him. Even if he was spamming auto combos, in that case you should work on defense. Bottom line is that you should learn from the mistakes that made you lose. Work on your temper, and definitely stay away from Alt F4. I'm saying this because I am guilty. I have quitted out of rage a few times when I started out. But when I calmed down and learned from my mistakes and getting rage quit on, I felt like an asshole. The fact I denied those people their rightful points is sickening. So don't be that guy anymore and work on yourself to get better. Don't rematch that person that made you mad and move on. Oh, it's not over yet. I still have a don't for you. Whatever you do when it comes to fighting games, don't give up. They can seem overwhelming at first glance and can be challenging. But by pushing through and stepping over the barrier, you will find skill to be picked up. You will get better when you practice enough and when you play lots of different online matches. And then you will find a love that you wish you had found earlier. That's what happened to me in Fighters. I never went for the fighting games except Soul Calibur here and there. But Fighters really spoke to me because of its accessibility. It can do the same for you as well. So don't give up, or as we anime lovers say, ganbatte.